For 7 quiet years, my home in Oak Ridge Estates felt like the safest place in the world. 3 acres, tall pines, birds that sounded like morning was always new. But one Saturday, that peace shattered. Before sunrise, I heard a deep, mechanical growl. Not a car, not a lawnmower, something heavier, like the earth itself was being chewed up. I stepped outside in my slippers. My heart dropped. Behind my property line, where the old pine trees formed a natural border, a bulldozer was carving into the dirt. Workers shouted. Cement trucks lined the road. Wooden frames were already rising. And it wasn't on my neighbor's land. It was on mine. My stomach tightened. My mind froze. I walked faster than I've ever walked in my life. A worker glanced at me, barely, just long enough to say, "Talk to the owner. He said this is his spot." The owner, he pointed at, wasn't me. It was Harold Carter, my cold, stone-faced neighbor. The man who never waved, never smiled, never liked anybody. He stood there with sunglasses on and a rolled-up paper in his hand, giving directions like he was some kind of king. I called out, "Harold, what is going on?" He didn't even turn immediately. He finished talking to a worker, then finally faced me. "It's a garage," he said casually, "for my son. He needs a place for his truck." I blanked, trying to hold back the anger rising like boiling water. "But this is my land." He shrugged. "No, it isn't. Boundary line's off. I had it checked." Checked? Checked by who? He didn't show proof. He didn't discuss it. He didn't warn me. He just built. I tried again, calmer. "Harold, you can't do this without showing me paperwork." But he simply smirked. "It'll raise your property value anyway. Don't make this complicated." Then he walked off like the conversation was over. Like my rights didn't exist. By noon, the concrete foundation was poured. By evening, the garage walls were rising. By nightfall, the structure stood tall, an ugly, towering insult. My peace was gone, and something inside me settled. If he thought I would roll over, he chose the wrong neighbor. Monday morning, I drove straight to the county office. No coffee, no breakfast, just anger. The clerk pulled up the official property lines. Clear, unchanged, exactly where I always knew they were. Then I asked the question that flipped the whole situation on its head. Did anyone file a boundary adjustment request for the line between the Reed and Carter properties? The clerk scrolled, paused, nodded slowly. Yes, 3 weeks ago, the Carters filed one. My jaw tightened. Was it approved? Denied. Denied. Rejected. Officially dismissed. He tried, he failed, and then he built anyway. When I got home, Harold was inside the half-finished garage, bragging to his son like he had just won something. I walked up and held my voice steady. "Harold, the county denied your adjustment. The land is mine." He didn't even blink. "I'll win the appeal." "You never filed an appeal." He paused for half a second, but arrogance is a stubborn mask. "Daniel, don't push this. You won't win." And again, he walked away. That night, a letter appeared in my mailbox. A big, bold printed warning. "Cease all trespassing." Signed by Carter family. Trespassing. On my own property. That's when my anger turned to fuel. Enough was enough. I hired a professional surveyor, one with a reputation for being unshakable. For 6 hours, he measured, flagged, scanned, and confirmed every inch of land. At the end, he handed me the report. "There is absolutely no doubt," he said. "This entire garage, foundation, walls, roof, is on your property." I felt a mixture of relief and rage. He wasn't done. The surveyor lowered his voice. "They've tried things like this before. Not just with you. My eyebrows raised. What are you saying? He exhaled. 2 past neighbors filed complaints. Both eventually sold their homes. Something twisted in my gut. This wasn't an accident. This wasn't confusion. This was a pattern. Harold wasn't stupid. He was a bully who counted on intimidation. He thought I'd fold like the others, but he didn't know me. The breaking point. I approached Harold one last time, papers in hand. Here is the survey. The garage is on my land. You have one chance to remove it voluntarily. He didn't even look at the papers. The garage stays. Then he turned away. And that was his final mistake. Because I filed a county complaint, a property encroachment lawsuit, a demand for full removal, a damages claim, a restoration claim, and a criminal trespass claim. And I wasn't finished. I began digging through public records, interviewing former neighbors, documenting every second of his construction with timestamps. By the time the court date arrived, I had more evidence than some detectives gather in a year. And Harold, he had arrogance. That was all. The courtroom was silent except for the ticking of a wall clock. Harold walked in with a confident grin, wearing a suit that looked more expensive than his actual credibility. He sat down and crossed his arms, as if the case would be over in 5 minutes. But his confidence cracked the moment my lawyer placed the first aerial photograph on the display. Then the second. Then the third. Drone shots, survey reports, county denial letters, Harold's signed request, Harold's rejection notice, Harold's illegal construction permit, or rather lack of one. His face slowly drained of color. Then the judge spoke. "Mr. Carter, you knowingly built a structure on land you do not own." Harold tried to argue. "The boundary lines are wrong." The judge raised a hand to silence him. "2 licensed surveyors have verified the same conclusion. Your request to alter boundaries was denied. Your construction is unlawful." Then came the ruling. The kind of ruling that makes a grown man feel the weight of every poor choice he's ever made. 1. Immediate removal of the garage, at Harold's full expense. 2. Restoration of my land, including soil, grading, and vegetation. 3. Payment of all my legal costs and survey fees. 4. Compensation for unlawful encroachment and loss of property usage. Total, $147,800. Harold's mouth opened. No words came out. But the judge wasn't finished. "Mr. Reed, you may also seek additional damages pending land use assessment." My lawyer nodded. "We will, Your Honor." I didn't smile, but I felt justice warming my chest like a sunrise. The collapse of a thief. The demolition crew arrived 4 days later. Harold stood on his porch, arms crossed, staring helplessly as the garage was torn apart piece by piece. Wood snapped, concrete cracked. The structure he built so proudly crumbled to rubble. His son looked embarrassed. His wife avoided everyone. And Harold looked small. Very small. And karma wasn't done. The zoning department opened an investigation. The HOA followed. Inspectors arrived. Turned out Harold had 2 unpermitted sheds, 1 illegal extension, a deck built over a drainage line, and structural violations dating back years. Fines rained down like hail. Debt piled up. Stress crushed him. By October, the Carters quietly put their house up for sale. No goodbye, no apology, just silence. And for the first time in months, the property line behind my home looked peaceful again. Once the land was restored, I planted a young maple tree at the exact spot where the illegal garage once stood. I named it Victory, because that tree wasn't just a plant. It was a reminder. A reminder that when someone tries to steal what's yours, and you stand tall, You won't just reclaim your land. You'll take back far more than they ever stole.